Hi, I'm writing a review for the AR Blue Clean Power Washer 1500. There's a lot of reviews out there for QVC and the company themselves, but there's really nothing to explain to the users that buy it because they seem to be more geared towards just what it does rather than how to set it up and use it. They seem to say, oh, it's so easy, and it is to an extent, but some of us want to know about a few things, and that's what I'm going to post about rather than showing you what it sprays and how it looks. One of them is this right here. This piece right here is it's aluminum and some plastic. One of the things to be aware of is this washer. The washer inside does pop out, so when you do to store it, that is something to keep aware of. Next, a pretty common part that is an issue with everything, just to note, when you go to screw your hose on, it loosens this part up over here. Water leaks a little bit, so you've got to balance tightening the hose in this. Pretty simple thing, but just be aware when you're moving it around. This thing is very light, so when you move your cord around or something, it is so easy to move it around, and if your hose isn't exactly tight, it'll leak a little bit. That is something that, you can go down to a store and get another part for this, but just be aware of that, okay? That is something to note. The next thing is this, pretty simple again, common with amongst items, is that when you first turn it on, the motor will go and then it'll stop. If you're not used to that type of thing, you would think that the circuit blew or something was wrong with it. It's not. Just go over to the nozzle, make sure it's unlocked. I would assume you have it locked. Then you turn it on and you'll find out that it's on. It just doesn't make loud noises while you're not spraying. As soon as you start spraying, the motor comes right on. Something to just know about. The next item is this right here, is the switch. This is a 2-prong switch. It has the protection circuit built into it. They tell you not to use an extension cord like most devices, and they want you to have the GF switch plug-in as well as this. I do have that. My plug-in has the switch as well as this. They don't want you using the cord. That is up to you. I have it on both of mine, so that is just something to be aware about. I don't think they really have addressed that in any of the sales things I have seen, but that's something they do tell you. That is up to you. The next thing to be aware about is this right here. You can tell I've used it a few times, is setting this up, the tips. One of the problems I found with this is that when you go to, let me take it off. There we go. One of the things I found with the tips is that when you go to take them off, you'll see what it's made of right here. It's pretty, it's pretty simple. And then inside, that's what it looks like. It's just a little piece sticking up. Screwing this in is a love-hate relationship. It's very simple. It's very easy. But for some reason, sometimes you'll have an issue with it. I don't know. Some people will never have an issue. Most of the time I don't. But sometimes I do. The secret is to put this in like so. Get it in here, press down. I have it set up, press down, which is a little hard to do right now one-handed, but you press down and turn it, and then it's locked in place, and then I can turn this down to lock it. You turn this to lock it, but it's in place right now. So that's how that works. And it's a pretty simple thing to do. Just as long as you know what you're doing and you can get this, going, and we'll see how it goes, but that's how that works. And, we go from there. And, just some of the items that you try to do, this is the thing with these. The nozzle itself, the handle, is pretty good. The locking mechanism on the back of these is, in my opinion, kind of cheap. As you can see, it's way down in there, but then when you press on it, it's also way down in there. I noticed the manual said something, but I think it was backwards how it was done, but it just matters how you press it. But it is pretty simple. Takes a little bit of force, which is good, you know, to keep children's fingers out of it. And the handle's pretty good itself. I've had no issues with plugging in the back here, as you can see, you know, pressing it in and releasing it. It's not as, you know, if this was all metal and you were plugging things in, it would be a lot easier, but because there's plastic involved and some cheapness in the quality, plugging in the cords to this can be sometimes a little, it just is not as, let me see here if I can get this cord over here. You know, this, while it snaps into place, sometimes it's not always, you know, it's easy, but you know, you can tell that this is not as good a quality as you would have somewhere else on this, you know, sprayer. So there you have it. You know, just some of the things that they didn't address in the TV ad, and some of the things they don't talk about when they advertise it and sell it. If you can deal with these things, this thing's pretty good. I've seen people talk about, you know, it breaking, it leaking, no power. You know, hopefully some of these things will address that, and let's see what happens. You know, if it helps you out, I hope it does. I've not had any problems with it yet, but you know, we don't know what's going to happen. We'll just see. I'm not really interested right now in showing the performance of it because there's already enough commercials and things for that, but hopefully this will address a few of the other items. So good luck with it.